Hello students, welcome back. In the previous video, we finished with the grammar topic, that is the adjectives. We learned that an adjective is a word that gives you more information about a noun or a pronoun. Now today, in this video, we are going to talk about degrees of adjectives. Now what do you mean by degrees of adjectives? Adjectives change form when we use them to compare persons or things. This is called degrees of comparison. Now children, you need to understand the meaning of compare. What do you mean by compare things or people? Compare means to measure or to examine somebody or something so that we can find out the differences or similarities between them. Right? For example, I say, I have a book named A, and my book A has good stories. Right? Then my friend says that she also has a book named B, and her storybook has better stories than my book. Okay, then we go to our school library, and there our library teacher tells us that both the books are fine. You have A, your friend has B, but I will give you a book named C. That is the best among all the books. Right? So here children, you see, we are comparing the stories of three books. Okay. Book A has good stories, book B has better one, and book C has the best stories. Right? So we ask ma'am to give us book C. Right children? So here you see the adjective good has changed its form when we are comparing. Good, better, best. So the adjective good has changed its form while comparison. Right? Same way if I say my book is heavy. Book A is heavy. My friend's book, book B, is heavier than A. Right? And the book that we got from our library, that is the heaviest of all. Right children? So here you see the adjective heavy is also changing its form when we are comparing, when we are making comparison. So here we read that adjectives change form when we use them to compare persons or things. Here we were comparing the books. So when we compare, the adjectives have changed the forms. Right? So this is called degrees of comparison. I hope children you are clear with the meaning of comparison. Right? And you have also understood what do you mean by degrees of comparison. Now children, you need to learn that there are three degrees of comparison. The first one is positive degree, where we make no comparison. Right? Then second one is comparative degree. As the name says, comparative. So we make comparison of two persons or things. And the third one is superlative degree, where the comparison is done of more than two persons or things. Okay. Now I'll give you an example to make it more clear. Suppose I talk about today and I say today is a hot day. Right? It's very hot today. So today is a hot day. I am just talking about one day, that is today. Right? So today is a hot day. Now if I say yesterday, if I talk about yesterday, then I say yesterday was hotter than today. Okay, yesterday was hotter than today. So I am comparing today's day with the day before, that is yesterday. I am making comparison of 2 days. Right? So we have comparative degree here. Hot was positive, hotter is comparative. Right? But if I say 25th June was the hottest day of the month. Now it means that 25th June is the hottest among all the days. Right? So I am making comparison of 25th June with other days of the month. So I have used superlative degree here. Right? So hot is the positive degree, Hotter is the comparative degree and hottest is the superlative degree. Now here also children see the positive degree is the same word or the adjective as it is. The adjective hot. Right? So this adjective has changed its form when we are making comparison. It becomes hotter in comparative degree and hottest in the superlative degree. As we did in the previous example. Book A is a good book. Book B is better than A. And book C is the best of all. Right? So we see that adjectives are changing their forms when we make comparison. I hope this much is clear to you. Now children, we are going to revise the 3 degrees of comparison again. The first one is positive degree. It says when an adjective is used to describe one person or thing, it is called positive degree. Now here you can see a ball, a yellow ball. So the example says yellow ball is small. This ball is small, so I am saying yellow ball is small. I am just talking about one ball. I am not comparing this ball with any other. So when we do not make any comparison, it is positive degree. I have already told you. Now second one is comparative degree. It says when an adjective is used to compare two objects or people, it is called comparative degree. For example, blue ball is smaller. Now you can see, you can visualize that yellow one was small and blue is smaller than the yellow one. Right? So I am using comparative degree for making comparison. So small, smaller. Right? Then third one is superlative degree. It is used to compare more than two objects or people. Now here you see in the example it's written pink ball is the smallest of all. Now see, this is the smallest one. We are comparing this with the other two. Right? So this is the smallest. So the 3 degrees of comparison are positive, comparative and superlative. Small, smaller and smallest. I hope children it is clear to you. Now children, an important point to note here is when we use comparative degree, when we compare between two persons or between two things, then we use than. Right? Blue ball is smaller than yellow one. Right? And when we use superlative degree, then we use the before the superlative degree. In articles also you must have learned that article the is used with superlative degree. Right? So in comparative degree we have than and in superlative degree we have the. Right? And positive degree means no comparison. So it's just a statement where we make no comparison with the object, with any other object or with any other person. I hope children this is clear to you. Now children will learn how to make comparative and superlative degree. You will know the positive degree. Positive degree will be given to you and you will have to make the comparative and superlative degree. We know that the adjective will change its form, but how? There are some certain rules to that. Okay, so we are going to study those rules that are known as spelling rules for comparative and superlative degrees. Now children, the first rule is we have to add ER and EST to the adjectives that end in consonant. Now before this, you should know what are consonants. There are 5 vowels, right? A, E, I, O, U. And the other letters are consonants, right? So it says if an adjective is ending in consonant, we put ER and EST after them to make comparative and superlative degree. Now for example, I am giving you an example. Sweet. Right children? Sweet is an adjective. Okay, it describes a noun. Sweet is an adjective and you see it is ending in a consonant. T is a consonant, right? Now, what does the rule say? The rule say that we have to add ER and EST to this, right? So, we add ER to this to make comparative degree. We have added ER and we add EST to it to make superlative degree. Right children? So according to the rule we have made the changes. So this becomes sweet, sweeter, sweetest. I give you one more example. Suppose the word is strong. Now again you see G. Strong ends with G. G is a consonant. So to make comparative, we add ER. It becomes stronger. And we add EST to make superlative degree. And it becomes strongest. So I hope the first rule is clear, which says we add ER and EST to the positive degree to make comparative and superlative. Right? Now coming over to the second rule. The second rule says when a positive degree has E in the end, we only add R and ST to make comparative and superlative. Now there are some adjectives which end with E. For example, brave. Right? So the rule says if an adjective has E in the end, we only add R. So to make comparative degree, we only add R, and to make superlative, we add ST. So it becomes brave, braver, bravest. Right? I hope second rule is clear. When a positive degree has E in the end, suppose an adjective has E in the end. For example, large. So to make it comparative, to make it in comparative form, we will add R, and for superlative, we will add ST. Right, children? I hope these two rules are clear to you. Now, the third rule says, if an adjective ends in Y, right? If an adjective ends in Y, change Y to I and then add ER for comparative and EST for superlative. Now, I'll give you an example. Children, think of any adjective that ends in Y. For example, let us take the adjective lazy, right? It ends in Y. So what does the rule say? The rule say that if an adjective ends in Y, change Y to I. So we have to change Y to I. So instead of Y, we write I. Okay. Then add ER for comparative. And then we add ER to make comparative. Okay. And it says add EST for superlative. And then we add EST for superlative. Right? So it becomes lazy, lazier and laziest. What have we done, children? Instead of Y, we have used I and added ER and EST. I hope it is clear. Now let us think of one more adjective which ends in Y. For example, busy. Busy as a B. Busy. Okay. So comparative, we need to put I in place of Y and add ER. Right? And here we need to put I instead of Y and add EST. So it becomes busy, busier, busiest. I hope rule number 3 is also clear. It says if an adjective ends in Y, we need to change Y to I and then add ER for comparative and EST for superlative. So lazy, lazier, laziest, busy, busier, busiest. Right? Now, the fourth rule says if an adjective is a small word, if it is a very small word with a vowel plus consonant, right? Now, if the word has vowel plus consonant both, we double the ending consonant and add ER and EST. For example, let us take an adjective hot. See, hot is a very small word. It has T as a consonant and O as a vowel. So the rule says if it has both vowel plus consonant, we double the ending consonant. So we will double up T. So comparative becomes and add ER. So after that we add ER. So comparative becomes hotter and superlative is hottest. Right? According to the rule we have made the changes. Okay. Now let us take one more adjective. Suppose big. Again, children, you see big. G is consonant, I is vowel. So we'll double the consonant. We will double the consonant, double G. So it becomes bigger, and in the superlative degree it becomes biggest. Right? Hot, hotter, hottest. Big, bigger, biggest. You can also take example of adjective red. Red is a small adjective, small word. So D will be doubled. So it becomes red, redder, and reddest. So I hope children all these 4 rules are clear to you. Now there are 2 more rules of changing positive to comparative and superlative, but that we learn in the next video, right? In this video we have talked about 4 rules, children. Go through the video again, and then only you will be able to understand and learn it. Now children, let us practice a very small exercise based on these 4 rules, okay? And then you will come to know how to use the degrees of comparison in sentences, okay children? Now children, here is the exercise given. The exercise says, fill in the blanks with appropriate degree of adjective given in the bracket. Now we have already learned 4 rules of changing positive degree to comparative and superlative. So keeping in mind those 4 rules, we are going to fill in the appropriate degree of the adjective that is given in the bracket. Now first sentence says, she is dash than her sister. And the adjective that you have to use is pretty. The degree of adjective pretty has to be used. Now children, you see pretty ends in Y. Okay, we learned a rule that if an adjective ends in Y, we change Y to I and we add ER to make comparative and EST to make superlative. Now here which degree will be used? Here I already told you that whenever we have than, it means there is a comparison between 2 things or 2 persons, right? So than shows that comparative degree will be used here. She is dash than her sister. We are comparing her with her sister. Alright. So the comparative degree of pretty will be prettier. She is prettier than her sister. I have put I in place of Y and added ER to make comparative. Alright. Then second sentence. Russia is the dash country in the world. Now children, here you see the is used. So wherever we have the, we use superlative degree. Now superlative degree of big will be big, bigger, biggest. We will double the ending consonant and add EST to make superlative. Russia is the biggest country in the world. We are comparing Russia with all other countries and that is the biggest country in the world, right? Then third sentence says, Birbal was dash than Akbar. Now here children, than is used. Than again shows comparison of 2 people, Akbar and Birbal. We are comparing, right? So wise, the adjective wise, it ends in E. We have learned in the rules that if an adjective ends in E, simply we put R and ST to make comparative and superlative. Here we want comparative degree. So Birbal was wiser. The comparative of wise will be wiser. Birbal was wiser than Akbar. Right? Then fourth sentence, it says an apple is as dash as a cherry. Now here children, we don't have than, we don't have the also. We are not comparing apple with any other fruit. Instead we are saying apple is as red as. We are showing the same quality of apple and we are showing the same quality of apple as that of a cherry. No comparison is made because than is also not there and the is also not there, right? So we will put the same adjective as it is, okay? An apple is as red as a cherry. Apple is also red and cherry is also red. Both are red fruits. Alright. Now, then fifth one says, Jenny is the dash girl of the class. Now here you have to use the degree of adjective smart. Since children we have the here, wherever it's the, superlative degree is used. You already know. So the superlative degree of smart will be smartest, right, of the class. We are comparing Jenny with the other girls of the class and she is the smartest one. Okay, so this is how we use degrees of comparison while filling in the blanks. Okay, now children, in your workbooks on page number 40 and 41, there are exercises given. You can do those exercises. Try doing. I'm sure you'll be able to do. Page number 40, it's a table given in which you have to fill the correct degree of adjectives. And page 41 is similar to this exercise, right, that we have discussed just now. I am sure you'll be able to do. If not, we will discuss in the next class, right? And children, in the next video class, we are going to talk about other two rules. There are two more rules of making comparative and superlative degree. Till then, revise these four rules, go through the video again, revise it, and if any doubt or if any query, you can ask me in the next class. So that's all for today, children. We wind up with this class. See you all in the next video. Thank you everyone. Have a nice day.